and welcome to a very special Fry Up Shorts where we're celebrating the 5-year anniversary of the Fry Up.
Wow.
Yes, believe it or not, it has been 5 years. Christ knows where that time's gone, but it has gone nonetheless. But we're still somehow together, sort of. So we're basically in this video going to celebrate some of our favourite moments of doing the radio show and the podcast, and also maybe some of our not so favourite moments of doing the radio and the podcast as well.
Which involve Matt.
Yeah.
It's going to be half birthday party, half HR.
Half time to vent anger. Who we
HR?
Well, that's what most gatherings and parties turn into, isn't it? It goes from happy, nice to see you, to get out of my house, I hate you, and then we'll see you again.
Who wants to kick us off with some of our happy? Go on, Matt.
Clues.
Honestly, one of the greatest links we've ever done on radio. And actually, I've got two, because one of them was just with you, Chris, and it's quite funny.
Right.
But this one, Fred wasn't actually there for. So one morning, David did a travel update, as he did, and he let us all know that there was an emu on the loose in Eastleigh.
Standard.
There was. And David just said it so normally, as if it was a normal thing for like a Tuesday morning, and me and Chris were like, "Whoa, hold on a second, this is what?" And literally for the next hour, our content was sorted, and we played the Benny Hill theme tune. We tried to find that emu, and it was just amazing. It was just probably the best thing ever. And
the way when it happened, because it was an emu that had escaped from like a farm.
Yeah, it wasn't Marwell, was it?
No. It's like just a small farm in Eastleigh, and it had made itself worked its way onto the main road. And so I sort of looked at it and thought, okay, I'm going to have to mention obviously the emu, but I've got a travel update to deliver here. The people need to know
what the reason is.
Yeah,
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing it back. I think we must have put it on social. And I remember hearing it back and thinking that they've done a good job there, even without me.
We gave tips in case someone ran over the emu.
Yeah, that was my favourite moment, was when you decided to do
best cooked,
how you could cook an emu if you hit it. But obviously, if you ran over it, you have to drive on, because you can't take up your own roadkill. So the next person who comes along finds a dead emu is the person who gets to keep it.
Do a convoy with your mates.
Yeah, exactly. You run it over, and your mate behind picks it up.
I imagine it's going to be char grilled, garlic and chili. Lovely.
I suggested emu steaks. So
that was it.
Yeah, it was.
I'm sure we've got the clip somewhere that we can.
Oh, I hope so. I wish we do somewhere, but it was just so funny. It was just the best thing ever, and it was just so random, yet it was just so perfect.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good. that was a good morning.
Yeah, I had a lovely lie-in, so it was a great morning.
You made a habit of that, because when we were doing breakfast shows, it was an early start, and to be honest, one of those days is my favourite memory. It was fairly early on in our tenure. We'd done sort of a couple of interviews, and we had a band on called the Villanovas. They were a local band, sort of up and coming, and
they're doing well, by the way. Now,
yeah, they are doing really well. And it was just a nice platform then to come on.
Well done, us.
Doing. So they rocked up sort of about 7:30. Fred had a lie-in. We thought we'll let him know. By the way, Villanovas are here.
I don't think I got that. Well, yeah.
You may have got the text, but not read it, because you sauntered in about 8:05. With about as much grace as a bull in a china shop, stomping up the stairs, slammed the door open and went, right, so who the fuck are the Villanovas? Meanwhile, they're sat there, the three of them, drinking their coffee right in front of you.
Guys.
Well, I wasn't even offered a coffee, so
you weren't
there's that. Yeah, but it'd be nice if one of you had gone, Fred, would you like a coffee?
Is there anything you want to say to the Villanovas now, Fred?
You're welcome.
For what?
He still doesn't know
on the show. That'd be my main sentiment. Is you're very much welcome for everything we did for you.
I mean, they were too polite to say, like, do you mind?
Yeah. They were just,
They were quite
they're
young.
just
They
like,
were quite
yeah,
young,
it's
weren't
us.
they?
To be fair, they might not have heard us, heard you. They must have though.
They probably did. It was quite loud.
Yeah.
16-year-olds absolutely.
At least we weren't. At least we weren't on air at the time, because that would have been really bad.
Mm.
Yeah.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, I mean, we had but then again, we did have a couple of on-air mishaps, like maybe
Yeah,
libeling
we
a
don't
couple
need
of
to talk about those,
people
Chris.
by accident. But then again, none of us swore. It was only our friend Brad who swore
Yeah.
Yeah.
on
I
air.
was close. I was close a couple of times.
Do you know what? So bizarre on
It
occasion.
is hard to not, isn't it? Like
It
sometimes,
is.
depending on what you're trying to say, you end up
It's
saying.
because you end up like just feeling like, because it's us four and we're all quite close anyway before we started doing the show. And then you start doing a link that's a little bit longer. It's just like being at a mate's house or in the pub with your friends just talking.
Yeah.
And so you start talking like you would. And obviously, when you're with your mates or at the pub or in a friend's house and talking to each other, it's okay to swear.
Well, that's what Jake Quickenham said, didn't he? When because he swore, he said, "Sorry, I just thought we were at the pub with my mates."
Honestly,
It just happens because obviously when the links are a bit longer, it just feels like a chat.
I bumped into Jake Quickenham since, actually.
Oh yeah.
Have you actually? And
Yeah.
what's he doing with his life now?
Well, he was doing Panto at the time.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Was it Panto? Yeah, and he dropped by to do like a halftime performance in our newspaper awards.
Not the Super Bowl then.
No, not quite J-Lo. But he had like the worst flu going.
Oh.
This was
Coronavirus.
this was 2018, so it's all good.
All right. Oh, well, he might have had it before. We don't know.
Possible.
And yeah, I went over to say hi, and he was just, he looked like a dead man walking, to be honest. It was awful.
I think, that was actually, no, not really a memorable interview. I've got to be honest, apart from him swearing. That was the thing, I think it really came memorable out of it, to be honest. But I think for me, it was the Temper T one. That was fascinating because, I mean, I think it's fair to say, I mean, none of us are particularly massive on grime. Really, I mean, I can respect it.
I mean, look at us.
I can exactly. I mean, I can listen to it, but it's not obviously sort of my genre. And sort of interviewing him, I was beforehand really nervous because I was like, I just don't want to mess this up. Because he had this new song out. I can't even remember what it was called, but I remember he said in it, "I am the king of grime," and I remember asking him that question and him taking it really sort of seriously. And it was like a 2 to 3 minute answer about, oh no, I'm not trying to, he's like sort of playing himself down. And then after we finished on the interview and I spoke to him afterwards and he carried on going on about it. And then right at the end was like, I'm doing a gig in Southampton, we should meet. And it never happened.
The thing is, I mean, he presented himself, even in that song, because there was like a music video in that, like he presented himself as like hard as nails. And so going into that, like we got an interview with Temper T, like shit. Like, if I say the wrong thing, like we are done for. But you said he was actually a nice guy.
Yeah, it was a lovely guy, and there's his number somewhere in there, Temper T, under Temper T.
Yeah, I mean, don't press it because otherwise,
No, we're not.
Do it now.
Let's not.
To be fair, we did do some good interviews, didn't we? And obviously, we had Richard Jones on the show, who obviously went on to win X Factor at the end of that week. We interviewed him.
And that was another one that I missed.
Sam Lavery, probably.
I was there for that one, yeah.
I think my favourite interviewee was James Van Bars.
That was the first one we did, wasn't it?
That was the first
James
one we
Van
did.
Bars.
Yeah, the most rockstar story ever because Chris met him at a house party.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like a Make-A-Wish kid. He was just happy to be there.
Yeah, I was. Do you know what? I was any of you there at that?
No.
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 I don't
None
even,
of us knew who he was.
No,
I don't remember anything about it, bro. That's the thing.
Drunk and invited him on the show because he had a single out, or he was or something, because he did a bit of music at uni.
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
He could play a guitar and sort of sing.
He was quite nice. He was a nice bloke, though.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah,
No,
it was a nice bloke.
If you're listening to James Van
Songs
Bars, I
right.
do hope you're doing well.
Very humble.
We'll make sure we tag him in this video just so he sees it.
Great. Now he's
Find his Spotify down below.
My favourite interview, actually, albeit hands down, no question about it, wasn't done on the show. Was we went and did it and went to a location to do it. And that was me and David going to interview the Heavy Metal Sisters. I can't remember their names.
Oh,
What were they called?
I think Babes, wasn't it?
Oh God,
It
no.
wasn't Butcher Babes, was it?
That's it.
Something like
I
that.
wanted to
Yeah.
go to that, but I was busy.
I would have loved for you to have been there as well, because I mean, I told David to go in a suit, which he did, just because it was a talking point, and we arrived.
Something.
But we arrived and they were rehearsing. And I think, David, didn't you take a photo? And then they were like, oh, no photos. And I was like, oh,
But honey, no pictures. We're still doing our makeup. I was like,
yeah, that was it. And we were like, oh, this is
off on the right foot.
I was like, they're going to be such divas. But they turned out to be really lovely in the end. And it was a fun interview. And then afterwards, because they were like, oh, are you sticking around for the gig? And I was like, absolutely not.
Had to let him down so gently.
We're going to play some FIFA right now.
Love it. To be fair, whilst
We went to
you
that
did that,
interview, like,
me and Fred obviously did another one, which was quite
public service.
and we did
broadcast.
go to the gig, and
It was quite good, I thought. The bit we saw was good.
yeah,
The beer was extortionate, but you know.
yeah. Fred got 2 beers, and I was like, "Why are you doing that?" And it was to make
11 quid for 2 pints, and it wasn't even like nice beer. It was sort of regular, you know, the sort of stuff that you, dog beer basically. Yeah.
The interview was
Never,
good.
never forget it. Because I remember opening a text from one of my housemates at the time, using my frying pan without asking. You know, life goes on.
Because what sort of music style were they? Was it? It was like public service announcements, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They use BBC archive stuff. Because BBC is known as the public service broadcaster.
You know the start of a Bastille song where it's like a bit of talking.
Yeah.
It's that all the way through.
No, there was some musical stuff. My favourite, there's one of the interviews I remember doing was when me and Chris went to Ali Pali.
Yeah, that was a fun day. That was a
It was a long day, but it was a good day nonetheless.
Yeah, we went.
I remember
what was it called? The festival.
Oh,
It wasn't just Festival of Sound, was it? It was.
No, it was something. It was something good. I mean, most of the bands were quite metally, I suppose.
Yeah, they were very heavy rock.
It was like Anti-Flag and stuff like that.
Yeah, but yeah, we did a couple of interviews in and around a few of like sort of Radio 1 lot, kind of being like, why are we here? But it was really good. It was a good day. That was a fun experience. Big up Simon Wilson and Jody for sorting that out for us.
Absolutely.
And they actually, to be fair, big shout out to them because they sorted out a lot of interviews for us. So
they did. Yeah.
There was one day when obviously being on radio, it's hard to sometimes gauge how to pronounce certain words. Say, Chris, and one morning. I think Chris was reading through just a list of events going on in the local area.
Oh yeah, because first of all, if you do local radio, it's the key to anything. Local events.
Chris, obviously, Bewley is a wonderful place.
It's a lovely place, Matt.
Chris, according to you, where was this certain event?
I don't remember.
Oh, it was.
Okay, right. Okay, fine. So I obviously didn't live in Southampton, so I don't know any of the area names really, to be honest. And I did French at school, and I thought that you would pronounce this because the way it's spelled. How is it spelled? It's like
Beaulliu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was Boileau or something like that. I don't know.
In the character.
Because we're in Hampshire, not the bloody Dordogne.
Yeah. And we got a message from someone at the end being like, I literally pissed myself. I was like, well, I provided some form of entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
The Boileau Motor Museum.
It was funny. I think I just literally started laughing on air, and he was like, "What?" I was like, "I can't."
No. It was a good moment, that one.
It was a good moment.
Really quickly, I mean, there wasn't many bad moments. I think.
We each had bad moments.
Yeah, we all had our bad moments.
I disagree. I'm perfect.
You are perfect, actually. Yeah.
Stuff like we've done more recently has been just as fun though. Like the reunion show we did now, obviously the podcast we did now.
Yeah, that was quite fun. Yeah.
It's still a lot of fun. I mean, we still have fun even though we've known each other for
6 years.
We're coming up to 6 years now.
It went over 6 years.
It's weird.
Yeah, because we met each other at the start of uni, didn't we? Especially you two, Devin, Chris, you're on my course. So I met you pretty early on, and then I met Matt through Chris because obviously you two lived together. And now I've lived with 2 of you. for at least
You
a year each.
Yet to live with Chris.
Let's live with Chris.
Your time will come.
Still
Sunshine.
time. Still time.
It is weird, and it is a little bit deep. We did kind of live our lives through that show for like a good
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, it was-
I think to an extent, obviously, I mean, we did Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday breakfast, then we did like Tuesday to Friday, and you know, it was great fun. I think the part that was always tricky was towards the end because we were just getting more and more tired.
Yeah.
Uni was getting busy.
Starting to miss out on stuff as well that we wanted to go to.
Yeah, that and it was our final year of uni, so we needed to we have to do more fun stuff just because
Go
it was going to be a lot more hard work.
Go out with our friends and stuff.
And then also there were a few behind the scenes things that sort of really started to wear thin, which really made a big decision for us to leave. So
I mean, you know, we still went out at getting back at 3 a.m. and then did the show at 7 a.m. a few times.
I might have done that after work.
I remember not being able to sleep in my house in second year, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I'm not sleeping anyway, so I watched a film and didn't sleep at all. Came to the show, so that was a good decision to watch a film at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know?
So mine was where there was a work night. I worked at a nightclub called Tokyo.
Same here.
And as a staff member, I got a nice bright red T-shirt with the word Tokyo emblazoned on the front like that.
You look good in it, David.
I worked. I think it must have been a Thursday night.
I know where this story's going.
We finished about 1-2 o'clock because we had a license to stay up a little bit later that night. And then everyone decided to stay out for drinks and go to a nightclub. Oh, David, come with. I was like, okay, fine, no problem. But it rolled around to about 4 o'clock, 4:30. I was like, you know what? I need to bin this off. But for some reason, instead of going home, I went to the studio. and so you boys rocked up sort of 7:15 rather, to find me sleeping on the sofa in the room. What the fuck are you doing here?
Oh, let's be fair. That's not the first time you mysteriously went to Voice because you
I also remember though. We watched the Super Bowl one night. All four of us were at Matt and Chris's house because they lived there at one point. And then David, the Super Bowl ended. It's probably gone 4 o'clock in the morning because he went to what do you call it? Overtime, extra time, whatever it's called in American football. And then David decided to walk off to Voice to go and do the weather in the studio.
Well, we weren't in that day, but it needed doing.
Yeah,
the commitment.
It was 4:30 and it's Monday morning at that point.
Yeah, which means the weather forecast for the upcoming day. It's ready.
Yeah, but us three decided, I think rather sensibly, it's time to go to bed.
I went to bed.
4:30. I'm pretty sure we had uni the next day.
We did, yeah.
Oh.
A thing I don't miss is the sound of Matt knocking on my door at 6:30.
Come on, Chris.
I don't miss that, Chris. I've never said this before. There's a couple of times where I was awake, which I just didn't answer because I was
Chris, I knew that.
I was like, I really can't be asked. There was a couple of boys where it's just so tired from uni or whatever. My favourite memory, I think, as a whole, has to be when we did the trip to Bolton. With Eastleigh, because we covered the game where Eastleigh played at home to Bolton. Big tie at the time because Bolton were a big club back then, obviously, in the Championship. Now look at them now. But it was, it was a huge game. They drew, and then we're going up to Bolton, and we travelled with the fans. We went, did a load of stuff for the Facebook, and then we travelled all the way back on the coach, did it all in one day, and then literally didn't go to bed. And went straight into the studio and ordered pizza and did the show the next morning.
That was it, because we had the breakfast show in the morning.
Yeah.
We literally finished the show at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Straight to Eastleigh Football Club to get on the coach.
Yeah.
Went to the game, came back, and like I said, we had like a 3-4 hour gap between getting back to Eastleigh and the show starting.
Yeah.
And we sort of looked at each other and went, we might as well just stay.
Yeah.
We went back. We prepared some stuff in the green room to talk about the game.
Yeah,
we were on social
knackered by that point.
And we got to the last hour, and I think it was just a lot of music because we were so flagging.
Yeah, we were.
But then again, David, kudos to you. You went into to uni to edit the video that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely recall it being something like 32, 33 hours a week in total.
Why?
I felt
Never
I
again.
knew-
None of us could do that now.
But it's a story to tell the grandkids, isn't it? You know.
in classic me fashion, I was asleep for most of the coach journey back.
So you're in fine form.
I was still pretty tired. 'Cause I don't think I slept properly. I had probably a couple hours sleep. Yeah, then I remember going home and trying to play FIFA and it not being a bit of a. My reactions were definitely a bit
off.
shot to pieces. Yeah, so
I mean,
I think that's
here's an interesting question. I mean, we've known each other for 6 years now.
Mm.
Where do you think we're going to be 6 years' time?
Oh. Well,
I'll be the
we're
wrong side of
30.
30 then.
We will
I'll be 30.
yeah.
I'll be 31.
Oh,
We will be in our 30s by then.
I can't do it.
I don't know, but I hope that we're still doing some form of this
We will.
in some regard. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
At least still talking to each other, eh?
Yeah, I think that's got to be the main thing. If we're talking to each other, it's been a good 6 years. Yeah, I don't think we can predict that, but who knows? Let's do a video in 6 years and see where we're at.
Yeah.
I'd like to predict it. I'll sort of round it off with that.
Yeah, go on, last thing.
People often say when you go to university, you meet your friends for life. You know, at that point in your life and that age. And I'd like to think that with you boys, that's what I have.
100%, mate.
Do you know what, Spot?
100%.
We've done it.
Definitely.
We've earned this. 5 years of the Fry Up. Can't believe it.
And finally, if you're someone and you're getting into radio, do a breakfast radio show with your friends. It is so much fun. Yes, it's going to be trying. It's going to be testing. The radio station you work for might be a pain in the arse. And that's all I can say.
They're all
your best friends. You don't want to do your best friends. Don't want to lose them.
Yeah, just do good friends.
But do with people you could lose as friends and it wouldn't matter too much.
And on that note, thank you for watching.
Happy birthday, guys.
Happy birthday. We'll see you in 6 years.